For the last month or so, we've been getting lots and lots of questions on the 2080 scheme which Mumbai developers have begun to offer rather than outright discounts on their projects. Now, many of these developers are betting their last buck on this scheme to beat the slowdown. Manasvi Gilani finds out what it actually means for the home buyer and builder, and we'll also get your top expert to analyze on what it means for you.
Attractive schemes, discounts, tempting offers. All that have got the inventory sales cycle rolling once again for property developers. Of all, one that's inviting curiosity is the 2080 scheme, where the buyer needs to make an upfront payment of 20% of the total apartment cost, plus stamp duty and registration charges on booking.
When you're staying in a rented home, you're paying a rental. Along with that, to afford to pay the interest costs for the apartment becomes a challenge for every buyer between the age group of 28 to 32, because he's just established, he started making that kind of money, he's just got some. So it was becoming a challenge for him to afford an apartment. That's when what we figured out that the best would be to come up with a scheme.
While it's perceived as a boon for a potential buyer, it also acts as a benefactor for a developer who gets structured funds from banks for project execution at desired pace.
Bank evaluate your documents and everything, whether you are capable of repaying the whole of loan amount which are going to take after 3 years. Suppose in 2080 schemes you are capable of all 80%, he'll sanction it. So this is a preliminary sanction, and that flat goes in a mortgage with the bank itself, against which bank given ADF, advanced disbursement, for a construction cost.
Banks are very cautious in extending loans to developers as there's high possibility of the funds being diverted. And usually, developers with good track record are the ones that avail this facility. Whereas buyers, there's more to this that you need to know before you get lured and lock in your hard-earned money in those four walls. Experts make it clear that the scheme involves the builder factoring in the cost of pre-EMI into the launch price. Banks charge a high rate of interest, say 1.5% higher than the base rate for the scheme to the customers, and also the customer has to pay the balance within the term period or possession, whichever is earlier, and most builders reveal this fact at a much later stage.
One thing that you should definitely check is the fact whether you will start having to pay the balance amount or the interest on the balance amount after a certain period, 2 years or 3 years. If that is true, that's not what I would call a true 2080. The other thing that you should definitely check is liquidity during the construction period. Typically, because he is undertaking your liability to pay, he may not allow you to sell during the construction period. That is something you need to check, because there is no earthly reason you should accept a restriction on your liquidity.
The offer definitely sounds like the one you would not want to let go of, especially in a scenario where to own a decently sized apartment in a metro city, you have to shell out nothing less than a crore. But, though it sounds like a practical risk mitigant against your investment in an under construction project, keep the statutory warning in mind and take an informed decision. Manasvi Gilani for NDTV Profit.
Alright, we also have Paresh Karya, CEO and co-founder of Easy to Own Estate with us, who's also a chartered accountant, so he will get to the